Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for checking in today for today's live, whether it is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or even YouTube. If you're watching it live, just put live in the chats. If you don't know who I am, Dr. Michael Lee, and I'm sure you do. This is why you're here to grow, and I want to thank you for your time, and most importantly, thank you that you have the willingness to grow, because we are in September now, and a lot of you are probably thinking, oh my goodness, where has this time gone? Because that's what I'm thinking too. We've powered through the summer, like I say in the UK, but now we are coming into the, the autumn, into the winter now. So, and this is no better time than to look into finances. Because when it comes down to finances, they always say that when businesses, or even small businesses, when they go into the winter, that's when they struggle. Because they're not even sure what they can do in difficult times. So difficult times are generally in the winter because there are businesses struggle because people don't do as much in the winter. And the question is, every business has we call it winter. When it's their summer, everything's great. But, when people are struggling with like getting leads or getting more customers, that's where finances struggle. Because remember, sales equals income. And we need to make sure that if you are a business owner, you know how to manage your finances, how you're going to take control of your finances. But most importantly, don't be overwhelmed. Because that's why today's live is all about how you can take control of your finances in 3 simple steps without even being good at maths. Because, I remember when I was looking after the numbers, I was like, wow, my maths isn't good enough. And it gave me overwhelm because I thought, what if I make a mistake? What if things don't add up? What if I get it all wrong for my accountant, and then when they need to submit it to the taxman, they're going to ask me questions? And of course, it gave me a lot of worries, a lot of fears that I had to make it perfect, because of course, we know that famous saying that numbers never lie. Numbers are meant to be accurate to give it a good picture of if your business is succeeding or if your business is failing. But ultimately, we need to find out exactly what those numbers are, and also what they mean. Because when people don't know what they are, they also have no opportunity to interpret them to find out where their business is. So, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is when people are not managing their finances, this is what tends to happen, is that they go along through life, through their business each and every day, and suddenly they get caught out because they haven't planned. Because remember this famous saying, if you fail to prepare to fail. And this is not just about finances, by the way. This is about preparing all these different departments that you have in your business. If you have a coaching business, yes, you may be the face of the business because people want to be coached by you. Or you may be the face of the service because they want to learn from you. But everything in the background, and this is one thing I always say to people I want to learn from me, is for me to be successful in what I do, I had to have an amazing team behind me. And I truly believe in this famous saying that behind every great man, there's actually a greater woman. And I'm very grateful for my wife that she looks after all the background things and that she looks after the finances. And ultimately, she can do that so I can focus on delivering you incredible value, delivering you incredible knowledge so that you can grow to the next level. So you don't make the mistakes that I made. Because I can tell you now, the mistakes that I made, they cost me a lot of money. Also, they created a lot of pain because I had to struggle through fixing that problem, which I could have stopped very early on. And I'll give a rough example. I must have lost easily £500,000, is UK pounds, right, in the mistakes that I've made. And a lot of them, some of the mistakes were 6-figure mistakes. And I never want to make those mistakes again. I don't want you to make those mistakes either. So this is the key thing. You have to be planning, because if you're not, you're going through life and you're having a lot of chaos, and you'll be thinking, all right, I'll just react to when I need to pay for something, or I need to react when I need to budget for something. I tell you now, people don't. They don't do it well. They do it well enough, because when people don't have a budget, they just keep spending, and eventually, when the tax man comes and says, you owe us this amount in tax and you don't have it, guess what? You get stung with interest. And this is why, to manage your finances, you need to have a system. Right? You need to have a system. Because I know a lot of you, just like me, say, I don't really like numbers, but ultimately, the beauty of what we have nowadays is we have something called calculators. And all we need to know is what buttons to push. And as soon as you push the right buttons, then you get the result. So here's a system I'm going to give you. These 3 steps, very, very simple. First thing, and actually I'm going to go on 3 steps, also the 3 rules. So the steps and the rules are this. First rule is create the system or use someone else's system. Whichever it is, there's a system, because a system is better than no system. So you must have a system in terms of how you are going to, how the money is coming in, but also where it's going to go. Because I know some of you that are watching, you're spenders. You're real big spenders. And you're going to be spending money left and right and center, because soon it comes in, within a week, it's all gone. And I tell you what, if you have a business like that, your business will fail, because you have a massive cash flow problem. And when there's a cash flow problem, if you have teams and staff, they would have left because they ain't got paid. So you must have a system. The second thing is that you must follow the system, right? The system itself is designed for you to use it. Some people, you might have heard this famous saying, people say, oh, talk is cheap, because they're all talk and no action. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but ultimately they don't do it. And when they don't do it, they fail, because they didn't follow the system. So you must follow the system, and to follow a system, you need to be accountable. Once you are accountable to someone else who may be doing the same system in your business, then you know that everyone is doing what they're meant to be doing. There's nothing worse than one of you doing one thing and then maybe the finance team doing something else, because it just causes a mess. It causes chaos, and actually it costs you a lot of time and resources to fix that chaos. Right? So I want you to make sure you're accountable. The third and final thing is this. You must review. You must review not only your system, but also your results. Because by reviewing it, you then know what it means and then what you need to do next. So we got these 3 steps. So you have to have a system, you have to follow the system, and you need to review. So now I'm going to break down those 3 bits. The system we use, and some of you know me from being a trainer at the Millionaire Mind Intensive with T. Harv Eker's incredible system, or the jar system. You have these jars that when money comes in, you separate them into certain percentages. And you can do this in your business, but you will need an extra jar, which is called the tax jar. You need to make sure you have enough money to pay your taxes. If you don't pay tax, you get stung, remember. So when you have your money, you have one jar. So you will pay yourself a certain amount of money. You cannot take all of the income, because some of it needs to go to tax first. So I always put 20% to tax, right? And whatever's left, it's going to pay your staff, it's going to pay yourself, but you must have a percentage of that. You will know how much that is. So whatever you have which comes your way, they then need to be separated into these jars. So the first one is I call it your financial freedom account. You need to put money into it, so you invest it so money creates more money. You cannot be trading time for money for the rest of your life, because time will run out. Okay? You will always run out of time. So you must have your financial freedom account, and that is something that people call your golden goose. That's the thing that will always help you become financially free. The second thing is, we call it your long-term saving for spending. Right? So your savings are something that you love. It might be a new car, a new TV, it might be a holiday, whatever it is. But whatever that is a certain percentage. Actually, I should give you these percentages. So financial freedom account is 10%. Your long-term saving for spending is 10%. But it can be separated into halves, because some people have debt. So it'll be 5% for your debt, 5% for the thing that you're saving up for. After that, we call it your education jar. And this is where you get educated by experts in certain fields that you want to learn from. Because once you're educated by them, you then can apply that knowledge to then improve yourself, whether it's to gain wealth, whether it's to improve your health, whether it's to improve your relationships, you then have that knowledge that it will stay with you for the rest of your life. So that's the educational order, because that then supplements your financial freedom account as well. After that, we have something called your necessities. And necessities is the things that help you survive. And that could be your rent, bills, car insurance, whatever it may be. Clothes, food, you can't live without those. And that usually is 55%. Right, you got 55%. Just to let you know, before, education is 10% as well. So you got 10, 10, 10, and I got 55 for your necessities. After your necessities, now we call your play jar. And this is the money you play, you reward yourself for the good works you've done. Because once you have your play jar, do the things you love. It might be get a massage, it might go to the cinema, it might go for a nice meal somewhere. Your choice. But whatever that is, you must reward yourself, because you never reward yourself, it means you don't value yourself and you're not taking care of yourself. So care for yourself so that you can then operate at a higher standard. And the last one, I call it a gift jar, 5%. 5% in a gift jar, you either give to people that are needed, because at the end of the day, a lot of people have helped me. And the last thing I can do, or the least I can do, is actually give back. If you don't have money to give time. So that is the system that I use. But the next thing is there's accountability. Because step 2 now. When you're accountable to someone, I'm always accountable to my wife Joyce. And when I'm accountable to her, we are aligned with the numbers, and then we know that they all make sense. We know where it's coming from, we know where it needs to go. So if you want to separate all that money into those jars, create what we call a sub-account in your bank, and then set up a standing order that they automatically go into those other accounts every month, or how frequently you get paid. And once that's done, you don't have to think about it. And you just keep spending your play jar, keep educating yourself, and then also keep investing your money to create more money. Okay, so the last step is reviewing. All your numbers will mean something. So if you have a good month, it means that you're doing something right. If you're having a bad month, it means you're doing something not so good. But you need to essentially make sure that you can have consistent good months. And you only can do that by interpreting the data. Because if something's not good, at some point, you need to ask yourself, so why is that happening? Is it because we're not connecting with people well enough? Is it because we're not giving enough value? Is it because there's some people that they may not understand what we really do? And once you ask those questions, then you have an opportunity to make changes. Because whatever you do, yes, it's very, very simple to give business principles, right? Principles is like sales equals income, right? That's principle. But the fact is that every business is unique, because your audience will be unique. And what your audience will need will be very different to what my audience will need. And that's why we need to fine tune. And that's why we need to keep testing. Because as soon as you stop testing, you stop measuring, then you actually suddenly get chaos. You need to measure every step. So for example, if there are certain customers that are buying your low ticket, but they don't buy your higher ticket, why does that not happen? That means there's a disconnect in that transition. If people are consuming your free content, but they're not buying your low ticket, well, there's a disconnect between the free and the low ticket. But then you'll see it, because the data will show it. You'll know the people that have bought big things from you, or small things, or haven't bought at all. And the question is why? As soon as you understand at which step it is, you will also know what you need to do as well. So I hope that these 3 steps, or these 3 rules, actually help you take more control of your finances, because if you're not going to control it, it will control you. And how it controls you is stress, anxiety, worry, fear. And that's what's going to happen. So I want you to take control of your finances by making sure that you are creating or using a system, being accountable to the system, and then reviewing all of your results and the system as well. So if you can do that, you're already moving in the right direction. So I really, really hope that you found this live helpful for you. If you have any questions, you put them in the chat. I'm more than happy to help you. And ultimately, have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you next week, where I will be in the Philippines. And I'll check in with you there And I hope that I will see some of you there, because I know some of you in the Philippines do watch this as well, and look forward to serving you at the Millionaire Mind Intensive. So have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing lots of you soon. Bye for now.